Hello students, I am Raman Gupta from Government College Bara, and the next literary term we are going to discuss is catharsis. Catharsis is a very important literary device which is used in dramas generally. So let's see the definition first. Catharsis from Greek language, and this is Greek alphabet. Catharsis meaning purification or cleansing or clarification is the purification and purgation of emotions, particularly pity and fear, through art or any extreme change in emotion that results in renewal and restoration. So, it means the purification and purgation of emotions. When we purify emotions, that is called catharsis, particularly pity and fear through art. It is a metaphor originally used by Aristotle in the Poetics. Poetics, Aristotle has used it as a metaphor, comparing the effects of tragedy on the mind of a spectator to the effect of catharsis on the body. Dramatic uses. Catharsis is a term in dramatic art that describes the effect of tragedy or comedy and quite possibly other artistic forms, principally on the audience, although some have speculated on characters in the drama as well. Nowhere does Aristotle explain the meaning of catharsis, as he is using that term in the definition of tragedy in the Poetics. G.F. Wells argues that traditional, widely held interpretations of catharsis as purification or purgation have no basis in the text of the Poetics, but are derived from the use of catharsis in other Aristotelian and non Aristotelian contexts. For this reason, a number of diverse interpretations of the meaning of this term have arisen. The term is often discussed along with Aristotle's concept of anagnorisis. D.W. Lucas, in an authoritative edition of the Poetics, comprehensively covers the various nuances inherent in the meaning of the term in an appendix devoted to pity, fear, and catharsis. These terms. Lucas recognizes the possibility of catharsis being some aspect of the meaning of purification, purgation, and intellectual clarification, although his approach to these terms differs in some ways from that of other influential scholars. In particular, Lucas' interpretation is based on the Greek doctrine of humors. So, it is based on the Greek doctrine of humors, which has not received wide subsequent acceptance. The conception of catharsis in terms of purgation and purification remains in wide use today. It is used very much today, as it has for centuries. However, since the 20th century, the interpretation of catharsis as intellectual clarification. So if we interpret it in 20th century, it is as intellectual clarification, has gained recognition in describing the effect of catharsis on members of the audience. Purgation and purification. What does it mean? In his works prior to the Poetics, before Poetics, Aristotle had used the term catharsis purely in its literal medical sense. It was used as a medical term, usually referring to the evacuation of catamenia, the menstrual fluid or other reproductive material. So it is related to some feminine medical term from the patient. The Poetics, however, employs catharsis as a medical metaphor. Lucas opposes therefore the use of words like purification and cleansing to translate catharsis. He proposes that it should rather be rendered as purgation. It is the human soul that is purged of its excessive passions when the excessive passions are relieved. Gerald F. Ells made the following argument against the purgation theory. So the arguments are not much important for us. So we can see the intellectual clarification. In the 20th century, a paradigm shift took place in the interpretation of catharsis. A number of scholars contributed to the argument in support of the intellectual clarification concept. The clarification theory of catharsis would be fully consistent, as other interpretations are not, with Aristotle's argument in chapter 4 of the Poetics that the essential pleasure of mimesis is the intellectual pleasure of learning and inference. So this is all about the term catharsis. I hope you have understood and got what the term means. Thank you and have a nice day.